Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Interesting to see you guys here. Um, finally. It's been a terrible, terrible week without DFS. It's just been freaking unbelievable, man. I don't know what to do with myself. I want to sleep. I slept until like 6 o'clock today. I just don't want to do anything. I want to cry. I don't know what to do without NBA DFS. But finally, we are back. Also, I'll show you guys some other stuff. But if you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I make videos for XFL. Or I'm not doing XFL videos, but I'm doing that in Discord. All these posts get posted on this subreddit called DF Sports. My username is Shook. I make updates with all the news that comes out. People talk strategy in the post. You can ask me questions. Really great place to be, in my opinion. And if you ever need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Twitter at Tory Langley 1992. And yeah, finally, we're back. We're back. Um, no NBA lineup to show you guys, but I finally reached my season goal before the All Star break. My season goal was $20,000. Obviously, there isn't $20,000 in my account anymore because I entered some contests. But um, if Discord is something you're interested in, I'll have a link to that down below, where I will be doing XFL content. Um, XFL was a huge success week one. Absolutely smashed the slate. Um, just just absolutely destroyed XFL week one. So if you're interested in XFL, join the Discord. Like I said, link to that'll be down below. Just absolutely smashed XFL week one. Just look at this. Just oh baby. Like here, I'll give you a preview of like what I do. Like this stuff, player pool, stuff like that. So yeah, if you're interested in XFL, Discord link will be down below, and then I'll have NBA stuff as well. This was my GPP lineup for XFL. If some of you XFL grinders are interested and you know what you're talking about, I went with Silvers, Borgie, Burnett, Canella, Josh Gordon, Jaime Martin, and Renegades defense. I wasn't first for a while until McCarron had his unbelievable 2 minutes down the stretch in the fourth quarter where he threw for 2 touchdowns and like 550 yards. Just unfortunate. I should have binked this contest, but that's okay. Really good day for XFL overall. This was my cash lineup for XFL. Another great day. Went with McCarron, Jaime Martin, Josh Gordon, Sal Cannella, Abraham Smith, Max Borgi, Renegades defense. So no NBA lineups to show because we haven't had NBA. But yeah, let's get into this. I believe in a 9 game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 game slate. Let's fucking do it, boys. Let's get into this shit. So we have Gordon out. We have Jamal Murray questionable. So I mean, it's a tough spot here. I don't like too much. I think Jokic is like fine, matchup proof, always in play for GPPs in my opinion. Jamal Murray is overpriced. I'm not going to play him if he plays. We do have Aaron Gordon out. Kankar will probably move into the starting lineup, play mid-20s minutes. He is a fine value. And then I want to see if Jamal Murray is out, who they start. I have a feeling they could go to Reggie Jackson, but we'll see. Like Bruce Brown, they'll probably throw Bruce in the starting lineup. He'll be playable. Reggie will get the backup point. Meh, okay, but we'll see who starts. And then, like I said, Kankar is a viable value, assuming he starts for Aaron Gordon. KCP, if he hits his shots, has a ceiling, okay value on the slate. If you'll notice, there is a ton of guys priced up and not a lot of value on this slate. So we're going to have to find some value somewhere. You might have to play some of those guys that are just disgusting. So really tough spot here for Cleveland. Like I said, everyone's priced up. So Mitchell at 9.5K. If I was playing 150 lineups, sure, I'd sprinkle it in some. But for my one lineup, it's really hard for me to get to him. Just tournament only player for me. Same thing with Darius Garland. I think Evan Mobley is overpriced at 8K, so it's hard for me to go there. I think Jarrett Allen is probably my favorite play if he can stay out of foul trouble. I think 6.6K is definitely reasonable for him. He's going to play close to 40 minutes. So Jarrett Allen definitely my favorite play on the Cavs as long as he can stay out of foul trouble. Karis LeVert probably plays mid-20s minutes off the bench. Another okay value play. Not someone I'm going to go out of my way to play, but if I land on him as the last man in on this slate, I'm completely okay with it. On the Detroit side, so we have Jalen Duren in. I believe he was questionable. We have Marvin Bagley, doubtful. So, I think James Wiseman is an okay value. Played 24 minutes last game. Really good point per minute guy. We'll see what they do with the starting lineup. I know the plan was to start him, but they went with Duren last game. We'll see. Like, if they move Wiseman into the starting lineup, I think he makes for one of the best value plays on the slate. But as it stands right now, if he's coming off the bench, still think he's a pretty good value, but not like an absolute smash. Bojan's price did come down, kind of intriguing just because he's been their most consistent player and has a pretty high ceiling. So I do like Bojan because the price went down and pricing's pretty tough on this slate. I think Ivy, Hayes, they'll split the point guard duties. I think Hayes is a pretty good value of 4.7K. That's just too cheap in my opinion. And then Ivy is an okay contrarian play. And then if Durant starts, you can go there. I don't like it as much, but with Wiseman now in the mix. And then Burks, Diallo, I don't think I can do it. On to Orlando. Let me take a sip of water. Excuse me. I mean, not much, man. Like, Banchero at almost 8K, I think is overpriced. I mean, it's a good matchup. I think Markelle Fultz is a solid play at 6K. He's just going to have the ball in his hands a ton. His minutes have been way up of late, too. So I think Fultz is solid. Franz, you know what you're going to get from him. You're probably going to get low 30s minutes. Guy that can stuff the stat sheet. I think 5.9K is reasonable. Definitely more in play. Now the price came down. So I don't hate Franz. I think he's okay. Wendell Carter Jr. probably plays around 30 minutes. It's a good spot for him. Kind of like him quite a bit at 5.8K. That does seem a bit too cheap for his ceiling. So I like Fultz. I like Wendell Carter Jr. Not too into Cole. Not too into Suggs. I know Suggs had a big game last game. Playable for value. Anyone else? No, probably not. Wait, was Cole Anthony out last game? 211. Yeah, he's been out, so that's boosted Suggs. So yeah, not too into Suggs actually. Maybe a downgrade to Markelle Fultz as well. So I changed that back. Fultz is still fine, but probably loses some minutes to Cole Anthony. So yeah, I think my favorite play definitely Wendell Carter Jr. Sorry about that. Boston, there isn't too much. Like, I'm not paying 11K for Tatum. I'm not paying 9.2K for Brown. Everyone's still priced up from when everyone is out. So White's overpriced, Smart's overpriced, Robert Williams is overpriced, Malcolm Brogdon's overpriced. So Boston for me, just a complete fade. Kind of the same way with the Pacers too. I think Halliburton's overpriced, especially for the given matchup, but he does have a ceiling. Like, he's always a fine GPP play, but I think the pricing is tough to go there. Miles Turner in a really tough matchup against Boston, just fine option. Don't love it, don't hate it. Buddy Hield has a ceiling if he's hitting his shots. I will say the matchup is pretty tough for Miles Turner and Tyrese Halliburton, so that could open up options for Buddy Hield. So maybe Buddy Hield will have more opportunities shooting the ball in this game. So probably my favorite play from Indiana is going to be Buddy Hield. Mathurin, no. TJ, no. They started TJ last game, but he's going to be super low usage alongside Howley. Naismith, perfectly fine value. He's probably going to play low 30s minutes, but super low usage. If he's going to be chalk, I'll just fade, and I'll probably go for 1,000,000 fantasy points. But he's another one of those values that, yeah, he'll get minutes, fine option, but low usage guy. Nembhard, no. Everyone else, no. Pelicans, we still have Zion out. I think Ingram at 8.9K is, once again, like, everyone's priced up. Like, it doesn't really stand out. So, hard pass for me in a tough matchup. CJ, hard pass for me in a tough matchup. Jonas Valanciunas priced up with Larry Nance back in a tough matchup. I think is a hard pass for me. But he always has a ceiling when he gets the minutes. So, he's always a good GPP play just based on that. But for my one lineup, it's a hard pass. Nance, no. Everyone else, no. I will say Josh Richardson got ejected last game, played 19 minutes. So if he was on pace for like 22, 23 minutes, I would have some interest in Josh Richardson. But we'll see. He was ejected, though. Where is... I think that's it. I think they were playing Alvarado alongside Josh Richardson a bunch, too. But yeah, not much on the Pelicans for me. On to Toronto. So we have Gary Trent, I believe, is back. Let me take a look. Yeah, Gary Trent back. We have OG and Anunoby questionable. We'll monitor the starting lineup here. So if they start Jakob Poeltl at the 5 and OG Anunoby is out, I like him a lot. Played 37 minutes last game. We know Nick Nurse likes to run his starters into the ground. But Gary Trent and OG have been out. So we're going to have to monitor if OG is going to be out. I would feel more comfortable if OG's out and they start Jakob Poeltl. If Poeltl comes off the bench, I don't really have too much interest in here. So keep it on the starting lineup. If Poeltl starts and we have OG out, I like him quite a bit. If OG's in and they start Jakob Poeltl and like one of OG, Trent go to the bench, I still have some interest. So just keep an eye on the starting lineup. If they start Siakam at the 5, I think he's a good GPP play with how the pricing is on this slate because Siakam gets a huge boost at the 5. I think Fred's overpriced. I think Scotty's overpriced. Precious, Boucher losing minutes with Jakob Poeltl on this team. So really going to come down to starting lineup and OG Anunoby news for me. So keep an eye out that for sure. On Memphis, there's just not much. I'm not paying 11K for John Morant. I'm not paying 8K for Desmond Bane. I'm not paying 7.8K for Jaren Jackson Jr. So really just stay away from me. Brandon Clark, no. Aldama, no. I will say Dylan Brooks. This guy's the most frustrating roster in the entire world, but 4.2K Dylan Brooks does seem too cheap. I think he's solid for value. Fine. He has to hit shots for his value, but fine option. I'm not going to go to anyone else, though. On to Philly. So I do like Philly. Usually this team is just completely boring for DFS, but the pricing does kind of seem a bit too cheap here. So, and Embiid I always like for GPPs just because his ceiling is always one of the highest on the slate. So, not scared of Memphis defensively, individually for Joel Embiid's matchup. So I like Joel for GPPs. I think Harden's an okay contrarian play at point guard, but the value here. So Tyrese Maxey's minutes have been going way, way up of late. Solid point per minute guy, going to be really aggressive when he's out there. I like him quite a bit for value, and Tobias Harris, sub 5K, just seems way too cheap to me. So Harris, Maxey, I think both look like pretty good values. D'Anthony Melton, I don't even hate at 3.9K. He probably plays low to mid 20s minutes. Okay option, don't hate that. So the value for Philly, I think, looks actually pretty good for once. Let's move on to the Spurs. So how many games we got left for? We have a sell out. We have Trey Jones out. We have Jeremy Sochan questionable. So hard to say right now. It is I don't know what Dallas's defensive rating is without Dorian Finney-Smith and all those guys. But so I don't know what the matchup is for these guys. Keldon has a ceiling. You guys know the drill, but causes everyone incredible amounts of pain. Would feel better about him if Trey Jones is out. I think Zach Collins still pretty good play. I think he needs to be around 6K to 6.5K if he's going to continue to play around 30 minutes at the 5. So I like Zach Collins quite a bit. With Trey out, you're probably going to get Branham in the starting lineup. If he continues to start, I like him for value. The good thing with Branham is he's also blowout proof, and the Spurs are the worst team in the league, and they get blown out a ton, and he'll just absolutely crush in garbage time. My fear is he's going to be a bit overowned, but I do like Branham for value. Devontae Graham, I think, is a solid value. Probably plays mid-20s minutes, decent point per minute guy. If Sochan plays, he's fine. Keita Bates-Diop's just there for me. Fine. But monitor starting lineup, monitor Sochan news. I think the guards look pretty good to me. And then Keita Bates-Diop and Zach Collins. Dallas, there's just nothing. With Kyrie healthy, I think Luka's overpriced. With Luka healthy, Kyrie's overpriced. Christian Wood is just not playing enough to warrant this price tag. Tim Hardaway Jr. is overpriced. Josh Green, he'll play a ton of minutes, but he'll be very low usage. Everyone else is just absolutely disgusting. All right, last set of games here, guys. Good spot here. So SGA, no issue if you want to go to him. Price came down, I do believe. So I do like SGA for GPPs in a pace-up spot up against Utah. Giddy, I think I'd much, much rather just go to SGA. Jalen Williams' minutes have been way up. I don't mind if you want to take a shot on him, a guy that can pretty much do it all, stuff the stat sheet. No one's noticing it, but minutes have been way, way up of late. And if you want to start target whoever starts at the 5, like, be my guest, but I personally don't want to do it. Westbrook went to the Clippers. Obviously, he's not going to play. We have Lauri Markkanen going to be playing here, we have Colin Sexton out. So I think Markkanen in a really good spot up against OKC looks good. Clarkson's a fine GPP play. I absolutely love Walker Kessler. I think he plays around 30 minutes. Oklahoma has been absolutely terrible against opposing centers, so I think Walker Kessler looks great tomorrow. Kelly Olynyk's fine GPP play with Colin Sexton out. We'll monitor who they start. They could start Abaji, they could start THT, but regardless, I really like THT for value with no Colin Sexton. He gets a big usage bump, big minutes bump as well. He's too cheap at 4.8K, I think, with no Sexton. So THT looks really good to me. I wouldn't play Abaji even if he starts. Super low usage guy, but he'll play big minutes. Like, it's doable as like a last man in, but I'm not too excited about it. Let's move on to the Warriors, and there's just like, look at the pricing here. Poole 9.1K. Nope. Klay Thompson 8.8K. Like, do these guys have the ceiling to pay off these price tags? Yes, but you're gonna need like an insane ceiling game from both. So it's a really good matchup. We've been targeting guards against the Lakers. Maybe their ownership will be low, so I think they're okay GPP plays. Draymond Green is just absurdly overpriced. I don't understand that price tag. The value, I think, is what I'm looking to here. So Kuminga, Looney, Dante. With Wiggins out, they're going to be the biggest beneficiaries of that. Like, if Kuminga starts, I like him a lot for value. If he comes off the bench, he's a bit riskier. Dante probably plays around 30 minutes. I think he's solid. Kevon Looney probably plays mid-20s minutes. I think he's a solid value play. So keep it on the starting lineup. Gonna like Kuminga if he starts. On to the Lakers, I'm just crossing off this team, I think. I really don't like anything. You can take shots on LeBron. You can take shots on AD. I think that's perfectly fine. But me, personally, I'm probably going to cross off this team. Outside, actually, I forgot. Vanderbilt, I forgot we got news of this. Vanderbilt and Beasley are both going to continue to start. So if Vanderbilt and Beasley both continue to start, I think they're both good value plays. Both good point per minute guys. I think they'll be less productive playing alongside LeBron and AD. But both are definitely too cheap, assuming they both continue to start. So I take that back. I think Vanderbilt, I think Beasley, both look like two pretty good value plays to me. I think Bamba played the backup five, but I don't think it's enough for me to go there. On to Portland. So Dame deserves this price tag. He really does. We have no Simon, so his usage is just going to be absolutely insane here. I have no issues if you want to go to Dame in a really good spot up against Sacramento. So like Dame, I think Grant, he'll be the number two clear offensive player with no Simons. Okay, tournament dart. Drew Eubanks, Watford, they'll split the center minutes, both okay values. I do prefer Drew to Watford. And then with Simons out, Shaden Sharp, 3.8K, I think, looks like a pretty good value to me. I love watching this guy play. Just super explosive, okay rebounder, kind of stuff the stat sheet, pretty good scorer. Yeah, I like me some Shaden Sharp. Thibel's going to play a ton of minutes, but I'd rather just look elsewhere. And Nasir Little probably plays a decent amount. He's playable. But Shaden Sharp, to me, I think is the guy I would go to on the Portland Trailblazers for value. Cam Reddish, my second favorite of that bunch. But Shaden Sharp, to me, I do like quite a bit for value. Let's move on to Sacramento. So Sabonis, fine contrarian play. Fox, fine contrarian play. Herter, Monk, Barnes, Keegan, they're all just there for me. When one struggles from the field, they'll go to another. Like, if Keegan struggles, they go to Monk. If Barnes struggles, they go to Herter. If Malik Monk struggles, they'll go to Keegan, Barnes, and Herter. So really trying to gauge the wings and Malik Monk is really, really hard. It's basically a guessing game on which guy is going to play extremely well. So they're all just large field tournament plays for me. Davis, no. Lyles, no. David, no. So hope you guys had a good night. I'm excited. NBA is going to be back. And I will talk to you all tonight and tomorrow.